Hello chess lovers, Suren here, and in this video I want to share with you a brilliant attacking game where Magnus Carlsen goes for a double bishop sacrifice against Chinese chess grandmaster Wang Hao. This game was played in 2011 in Wijk at Tata Steel tournament. But before starting our game, make sure that you are subscribed in order not to miss my future uploads. In this game, Magnus Carlsen had white pieces and he opened up with e4. Wang Hao responded with Caro-Kann defense c6, d4, d5, and e5. Carlsen goes for the advanced variation. Bishop f5, bishop e3, e6, knight d2, knight d7, knight f3, bishop g6, bishop e2, and knight e7. Well, another way of bringing the knight on f5 is playing knight h6. In this case, of course, white can damage black's pawn structure on the king side, but that's not fatal. After g takes h6, black is doing okay. And also, by putting the knight on h6, black is keeping the queen's diagonal open, not allowing knight h4. But in our game, Wang Hao chose a different strategy and instead played knight e7. Instead of putting his knight on f5, he will now bring his knight on c6 square. Meanwhile, we have knight h4. Carlsen is instantly using his chance and is coming after the light squared bishop. c5, c3, knight c6, and already it's high time to go for it. Knight takes g6 is on the board. By going for the exchange on g6, Carlsen managed to damage black's pawn structure on the king's side. And the downside of this structure is that already black can't go for a move like f6 and challenge white's center. And also, at any moment, if black castles king side, then white will go for h4, h5 advancement, and this attack can be decisive. Here we have knight f3 by Carlsen, rook c8. Meanwhile, black is preparing an attack on the queen side, white castles king side, a6. This pawn storm is coming, g3, bishop e7, h4. Now Carlsen will play king g2 followed by rook h1, b5. But first we have a4. Carlsen is first opening up the a file. And then we have king g2, c4. Well, black's counterattack on the queen side turns out to be very slow, and white's attack is becoming really very dangerous. In here, Stockfish suggests king f8 followed by king g8 and says that it's important to keep the rook on h8, making it hard to go for h5 advancement. But in our game, we have c4 by Wang Hao. Here comes knight g5, queen d8, another strange looking move. Knight f8 looks more solid, but in our game we have queen d8 and bishop g4. Black's position looks cramped. These black pieces are piled up, and already relying on that fact, white is threatening bishop takes e6. For example, let's just make random move b4, then bishop takes e6 is coming, and white is going to win very quickly. Let's go back. That's why after bishop g4, black played bishop takes g5, getting rid of white's active knight. Bishop takes g5. White managed to get a powerful bishop pairs, which are now going to be sacrificed. Queen c7, rook h1. Finally, the rook is also coming into the game. Knight b6, and this long desired h5 move is on the board. G takes h5, bishop takes h5, knight a4, and here we go, guys. We see the first bishop sacrifice in this game. Bishop takes f7, king takes f7. Black is accepting the bishop sacrifice by capturing on f7 with the king in order to connect the rooks. But now comes the queen. Queen f3 check, king g8. Well, if we move like king g6, then in this case bishop f6 can be a decisive blow for black. Black can't save this position. Let's go back. In our game, after queen f3 check, we have king g8 and rook takes h8 check, king takes h8. Here comes the second rook, rook h1 check, king g8, and queen h5. Right now the threat is bishop f6. Here Wang Hao played rook f8, but anyways, stepped into this bishop f6 move, and in here he resigned. Right now the threat is queen h8 check, followed by queen takes g7. If you capture on f6 with your rook, then e takes f6 is coming, and again white can bring into life that idea. Black king actually is in a mating net, or after bishop f6, if g takes f6, then anyways queen h8 check is coming, and again black is losing his queen and the game as well. That's why after this powerful blow bishop f6 on move 29, Wang Hao resigned. Well, it's hard to say where black's defense went wrong, but one thing I can tell for sure, that black's queenside attack was way too slow. In the end, let's also solve a chess puzzle where the task is to find the mating line for black. It's black to move, and I will wait for your answer in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Here are more suggestions for you. Feel free to check them out as well. I will see you in my next video. Take care.